25 grams of protein in one scoop. But how many scoops of this would I need to get enough protein in for the day? I got a lot of protein on me. We're gonna find out how much protein you need based off of your age and activity level. Now, this is a super debated topic.
1.3 grams per pound.
0.7 gram per pound.
Gram per pound of protein is usually overkill.
But I'm gonna show you what most scientists agree on. So how much protein do you actually need per day? And who's this recommendation for? Bodybuilders or my grandma? Well, actually, they probably need pretty similar amounts of protein, surprisingly. You're gonna find out why in a second. So if you're a young adult, roughly 40 years or younger, and you're mostly sedentary, then the recommended amount for you would be 0.4 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. So if you're 150 pounds, then just multiply 0.4 times 150, and you should get 60 grams of protein per day. You might be wondering why you need to eat this much protein, aside from the fact that it's the recommended amount. Well, the reason is because if you aren't eating enough protein, then your muscles will have a high chance of atrophying because they're not getting enough protein to help maintain them. If that happens, it's gonna be harder for you to do just your daily activities. You're getting weaker, and that's especially the case as you get older. If you're even remotely active, I personally would aim to get more than that. And here's why. For active young adults, that number goes way up, like double. So it's about 0.8 grams per pound of body weight per day if you are active and you're working to build muscle. If you're 150 pounds, that's 120 grams of protein per day. That's a lot more protein. So to show you how much protein this really is, I'm gonna take you to my kitchen. So we're gonna try to find enough protein to feed a sedentary person. So let's hunt around for 60 grams of protein. We're gonna start in the fridge. Eggs. Okay, this is 5 eggs. Each one of these eggs has 6 grams of protein. That's a lot of protein in this small little thing. So with 5 eggs, that means it's 30 grams of protein. We're halfway there already with 5 eggs. That's a lot of eggs to eat in a day, but I believe me, you can do it. Let's see what else we got. Milk. This is another really good source of protein. So milk has a lot of protein. It's about 8 grams of protein for 1 cup of milk. This is a pint, there's 2 cups in a pint, so about half of that is gonna be 8 grams in total. Repoundzel beans are a great source of protein, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan. Now, how much protein is in this? So this says 6 grams of protein, and serving size is 3.5 servings in this whole can. You have to do more math. Didn't expect to be doing math today, did you? Neither did I. So that would be 3 times 6 is 18, half 6 is 3. So that's a total of 21 grams of protein in this one can. That's about 59 grams of protein. So we're pretty much there. That's almost 60 grams. But I always like to prioritize eating a little bit more protein if I have the chance. So let's go ahead and find one more thing to eat. Oats. This'll work. Oats have a good amount of protein too. And again, it's another thing you can eat if you're vegetarian or vegan. This has 5 grams of protein for half a cup. So that's 5 grams of protein. So in total, we have about 64 grams of protein. That's how much you're gonna be wanting to eat roughly in a day if you're a sedentary person who's younger than 40 years old, roughly. Now, if you are active and you're trying to build muscle, you're gonna have to double this to get to about 120 grams of protein. That's a lot of protein to eat in one day. Now, many of us have heard of this golden number of 1 gram per pound of body weight per day, or even more.
1.3 grams per pound.
I mean, the more protein, the better, right? You gotta get those gains, bro. But is this actually necessary? I mean, 1 gram per pound of body weight per day is a lot. If you're 300 pounds, that's 300 grams of protein per day. That's exhausting. My jaw would be so sore from that. Do you have to eat that much? Most scientists would say you could probably bring that down a bit and aim for about 0.8 grams per pound of body weight per day. But also, this is an averaged estimate of the population, and there are always outliers. You might be one of those outliers, and you might be able to actually process more protein than the average individual. So experiment with it. If you can actually utilize more protein, by all means, do it. Now, what if you're 40 plus? How much protein should you be eating per day? Well, there's a couple things to consider here. we actually become more resistant to building muscle as we age. Now, eating protein can actually stimulate muscle growth on its own. I have another video that talks about that if you want to learn more. So when we eat protein when we're young, we get a good amount of stimulus. When we're older, that stimulus decreases quite a bit. It's harder to actually build muscle from eating protein. Additionally, it's hard to build muscle from resistance training. So we just have to become that much more conscientious of getting enough protein and doing more resistance training as we get older to actually maintain our muscle mass. So how much protein should you be eating per day if you're getting older, knowing that we are more resistant to actually building muscle? Well, it's actually quite a lot. So this range is going to be 0.5 grams per pound of body weight per day, up to 0.9 grams. If you are more sedentary, you could probably aim for that lower range. If you're more active, definitely aim for the higher range. I would always be erring on more protein than less because of what we know about having a reduced response to protein. Now, if you have severe kidney disease, you might be an exception to this rule. Check with your doctor to ensure you're eating an appropriate amount of protein for you based off from your medical history. It can be pretty challenging to get that much protein in per day, especially if you're aiming for that higher amount, like the 0.9 grams. So I have a solution. If you're having a hard time meeting that goal, then aim for eating higher quality proteins. What are these? What does that mean? Higher quality or complete proteins contain all of the essential amino acids that your body needs to actually build muscle. You've probably heard of amino acids before. You have essential amino acids and you have non-essential amino acids. The non-essential ones, our bodies can actually make those. So the non-essential. The essential amino acids, you guessed it, we can't actually make these. We have to eat these in our diet. So if you're having a hard time meeting your protein goals throughout the day, then aiming to eat more of the complete proteins with all these essential amino acids can help offset whatever protein you're not getting in your day. What kind of foods have all of these essential amino acids? A lot of animal products, beef, chicken, salmon, dairy, eggs, those have a lot of the essential amino acids. If you don't eat animal products, some other foods would be, tofu, lentils, hemp seeds, brown rice, those types of foods. So you can look it up online. Now, if you're still having a hard time getting enough protein, there's one other trick I have. A lot of studies have been exploring using leucine, which is a very specific type of essential amino acid. And they've used this leucine to supplement people's diets, especially in older women. Older women tend to have the lowest muscle mass out of the population. So they're trying to find ways to help older women maintain their muscle mass so they can take care of themselves for longer in their older age. And leucine was found to be a really potent stimulator for muscle growth and muscle maintenance. So you might be wondering, what foods have a lot of leucine? Well, I happen to make a video all about that, so check it out if you haven't already. So here are the numbers again, based off of your age and activity level. Go ahead and reference this chart so you can figure out how much protein you're gonna want to eat per day. Now, if these numbers change in the future as scientists figure out more about the human body or our protein needs, then I'll put updates here on this channel. If you want more videos explaining cool facts about your brain and body, subscribing to the channel is one of the best ways you can support me in getting more videos out to you. Thanks to everyone. I'll see you next time.